Oh my God. Seriously. What in the blue hell is going on with wrestling this week? There is so much. That's why I called this show or this episode. I'm not going to number them anymore because I never know when I'm going to do them. I kind of do them randomly now. I would love to number them. Maybe I'll go back to numbering them sometime. I'll surprise you with a number and come out at 69 out of nowhere or something. I call this the highs and lows because there's so much good and yet there's so much crazy negative stuff. And I'm gonna go over some of the stuff. A lot of it came out today, but I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit. I'm not going to review Raw. I'm not going to review SmackDown, but I'm going to touch on a couple of things. The biggest thing for me personally is Goldberg is going to be coming back to Raw next week. And I'm really excited about that. I am an older fan. I am a huge WCW fan. And I know there's a lot of negativity that rolls along with this. He hasn't been around for, God, can I even count that high? 12 years? Is it? 12 years? Holy crap. 12, 13, whatever it is. He's giving Lesnar his answer next week. And I'm excited for it. As soon as stuff started coming out a few months ago about him being part of the game, rumors were going just nuts, because they did the same thing with Sting. And then he came back. And they do a lot of comebacks around the time of Survivor Series. So, a lot of things are pointing towards Survivor Series. Nothing's definite yet. They haven't booked anything yet, but Goldberg's showing up next week. I'm ecstatic about it. There's a group of podcasts that we're kind of associated with through one individual. I'm a part of the Ramblers. I run this podcast. All my stuff I do solo on here and with other guys, Mile High Laz and whoever else I can get on here. I also every other week run the Wrestle Addict. Another guy from the Wrestle Addict is Ant. He's a part of the New Age Insiders. Where are you going with this? My point is, if you want to see the most authentic / crazy response to Goldberg coming back next week, go check out, I think the video was on their the New Age Insiders Twitter. It's I don't know his whole. It's Jason, one of the hosts of the New Age Insiders. At this moment, the biggest Goldberg fan I have ever seen, and this isn't me making fun of him. I love it. I was listening to the podcast that came out earlier today, and they played the live reaction in the podcast. The video is also out there. Go check it out. You will not be sorry. If anything, you'll get a giggle out of it. So, just hats off to the New Age Insiders there. Great content. Also, go check them out. Besides the insanely authentic, crazy Goldberg fan. So yeah, I'm excited. I've been wanting Goldberg to come back for a long time. Goldberg's been hitting that stuff for the last, 4, 5 years, whatever it's been. I'm excited. And And, I run with some guys, like some of the guys from the Ramblers. Some of them are, some of them aren't excited, and I'm fine with that. Everyone's got their, that's why we do this. We all have our own opinions on professional wrestling, right? So I'm digging this, and I will surely be giving my response sometime early next week, possibly live Monday night after everything goes down, because I'm sure that's going to be one of the headlining things. They're going to build up the anticipation all night. Hopefully he'll spear Paul Heyman or something. That'd be epic. Because I don't think Paul Heyman was associated with him back then. With Lesnar, that is. Lesnar's supposed to show up the following week, the 24th. And then Hell in a Cell is the following Sunday. Oh, wouldn't that be interesting if they had a face-off in Hell in the Cell? Not in the, well, it could be in the Cell. Just a face-off, like a contract signing last minute for Survivor Series. And another reason to go check out the New Age Insiders is they discuss almost throughout the entire episode the pros and cons of a Goldberg comeback. And I'm not going to get into it here. One interesting that they mentioned, and I'm gonna bring it up here, is they mentioned that there should be more than one match between Goldberg and Lesnar, because how did they say it? Vince loves the rubber match. They said something to that effect, as in, okay, Goldberg had his win, Lesnar gets a win, and then you get the third match somewhere down the road. Wait several months till Mania and book the craziness till then. That I'm fine with. They do that a lot. They did that a lot with like Cena versus Bray Wyatt, or Bray Wyatt versus oh no, who did they do that with recently? They did it with someone. I can't remember. Cena versus AJ Styles. Are they doing like in the middle of that? AJ Styles is 1-2. They'll probably face each other. One more. Cena and AJ Styles. Anyways. So yeah, that's it for Goldberg. Can't wait till next week for that. That's good. Other good things. We'll do a couple good things, and then good lucha things. Oh, that's on Wednesdays. We'll talk about some good, and then we'll talk about some bad. And it's all a matter of opinion too. You may not like the Goldberg, so you could consider that bad. Whatever. Next, this, like I said, I'm not going to review much. NXT stuff, news that came out right before I went live here, and within the last couple hours. Some significant debuts and comebacks are happening in NXT. One is a veteran female coming back to the company. This may be a one-off. This may be a test to see how she does, to maybe reintroduce her to the main roster. Mickie James, former WWF Women's Champion. Was it WWF or was it WWE? Had to have been WWF. Former TNA champ. And I think she also had a stint in Global Force Wrestling. She's also wrestled all over the independents since she hasn't been on a major contract within the last couple of years now. At least a year. She's coming back to Toronto for the NXT special up there. I believe that's tied with Survivor Series that weekend. I'm assuming it's a Saturday, the Saturday before the Sunday, the pay-per-view. I'm assuming that's when that is. November, whenever it is. Go look it up on WWE.com. Asuka, NXT Women's Champ versus Mickie James. I don't think it's for the championship. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. In fact, you know what? Let's look it up real quick. Oh, what the hell? Let's see here. WWE.com. WW, what do you know? First thing here. Mickie James returns. Come on, stop loading. There we go. Asuka has claimed that no one is ready to challenge her. The NXT Women's Champion theory will be put to the test at NXT TakeOver Toronto. And it's got kind of a ring to it. TakeOver Toronto. When she defends her title against the returning Mickie James. Okay, so it is for the title. Wow. Interesting. Mickie James is a 17-year veteran of the mat game. Okay, that's kind of funny. A 5-time WWE Women's Champion and a former Divas Champion. Okay, so she was both. Also, TNA Women's Champion. Several-time TNA Women's Champion, I'm pretty sure, too. Not the first Knockouts Champion. She defeated some of the great female competitors in WWE history, including Beth Phoenix, Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. If anybody is ready for a war with Asuka, it's James. And I thought she was done wrestling and just often having kids with Magnus. Speaking of Magnus, let's talk about this for a minute. I saw someone comment on, was it Twitter? Someone commented on Twitter. Said, hopefully this will lead to somebody talking to Magnus from the WWE. Oh, and they tagged, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who I saw it. I think I liked it. I don't know. And someone tagged Shane McMahon in there, which is kind of interesting. And that's why I said, is this a one-off for Mickie James coming back to the company? Is this a sign that she may be the next female to go in the Hall of Fame next year because she is a women's veteran? This might be a testing the waters. I don't know how much she's wrestling anymore. But yeah, back to Magnus. Magnus would be a great addition to WWE. And I'd have to go back and do my research on Magnus. I know he's a current, at least I think he's a current Global Force Wrestling champion, Jeff Jarrett's company. Saw him last summer. Got to meet him last summer. Nice guy. Very nice guy. All those guys that I met on that card that day last summer for Global Force Wrestling, everybody, top-notch attitude, incredible. Never had an experience like that before in my life. I will always, no matter what happens with Global Force Wrestling, I will always be very thankful for that. One of the best live wrestling experiences I personally ever had as a fan. Met so many people that day. Just awesome. All right, back to Magnus. I have not heard. I try not to make this an ultra negative thing. I have not heard anything about Jeff Jarrett's company lately. There was something that he was trying to get a TV deal, something. So, and everybody that I've seen that is significant, that was part of Global Force Wrestling, is now either part of TNA or a majority of them are part of WWE. So does that mean that Mickie James is going to follow that road of everybody joining WWE and go there, I don't know what kind of contract Magnus is under with Jeff Jarrett. He could maybe follow her there. That'd be pretty cool because he was a good talent, and certainly in the realm of, so someone good from the UK, like Wade Barrett. So it's always good to have a decent amount of international talent on your roster. So who knows? We'll see what happens with Mickie James. Possible future for Magnus. Anyways, next, other big news as far as a debut. This is during the tapings tonight, and the news is all out there, so it's not like I'm spoiling anything that nobody's heard before. The video's even up on WWE's YouTube as far as a welcoming, because they know everybody knows. Triple H tweeted about it, him in a picture of Roderick Strong made his debut tonight in NXT at the tapings. He is Austin Aries' tag team partner. Now, I don't know as far as match details. I did not dive that far in. I'm about a month behind. Excuse me. I'm about a month behind on NXT. So I got some catching up to do. I know Sanity debuted this week. That's Eric Young's new stable. A lot of good talent in there. Those guys should be as good, if not better, maybe, than the Wyatt family. Just a prediction. Just a little speculation there. Big fan of Eric Young. I hope big things happen for him and his crew. So, like I said, I got some catching up to do because I really want to see that. But I also want to see what's been going on between Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. And, the Tag Team Classic is going on. It's the second Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. See who's all on there. So that's positive. Let's talk about something weird that happened. And this isn't a review of SmackDown by any means. Just a little weird speculation of something that I missed. I was watching SmackDown, waiting to do the recording of this week's excuse me, Rambling About Wrestling. Time to switch to water. So I missed the last match of SmackDown while I was waiting, and then we we recorded Rambling About Wrestling for this week, the No Mercy review. Go check it out. So I missed the last match, and I just watched it right before I started doing this. And I wasn't going to watch it. I was like, oh. It's like, okay, another classic tag team match wrapping up SmackDown. The Wyatt family versus Orton and Cain, of all people. So, and this is not me knocking on Cain. This is just, I was kind of like, okay, well, it's not really going to matter who wins this one. Although, and I heard something, was it in another podcast? Or I read something somewhere, something to the effect of Cain disappeared at the end of the match. And I was like, what? Cain disappeared? Okay, now I have to watch this. So I go, because I watched everything right up until where AJ Styles got pinned by Elmsworth? Dear God. James Ellsworth. Courtesy of Dean Ambrose. Cain disappeared at the end of the SmackDown episode. In the match, the lights go out. Randy's reaching for a tag, and then there's Luke Harper, all looking all crazy, and like, what the hell? Turns around, gets a sister Abigail from Bray Wyatt, and that ends the match. So, what the hell is going on with Cain? He's had an interesting little feud here and there since the debut of the Wyatt family. Now, I did a video on my old channel talking about Cain. If you're familiar with my stuff, you can go back to my old channel and go find that. Basically talking about what could happen with Cain. And I was talking about, booking him being part of the Wyatt family. That was back when they were doing the whole tour of the compound of the Wyatt family, that down south looking joint, whatever that was. And that was really cool. That was before the whole Broken Hardy BS going on in TNA. So that in itself was original and authentic. You got to wonder, Cain over the years, and I might be looking way too much into this, but this is fun. Be like, okay, well, what the hell happened to Cain? Maybe they're going to book Cain. He's got to be coming towards the end of his career. Maybe they're going to completely change him up and have him become part of the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family desperately needs more people. Eric Rowan is gone till, probably middle of next year. He's got torn rotator cuff or something. And depending on how recovery goes, Mania next summer, he's going to be gone for quite a while. So I can see with the disappearing of Cain that they revisit the thing that in that first feud a couple years ago, was it after the Inferno match? Their first match, Bray Wyatt versus Cain. They defeated him, picked him up, and carried him to the back. Then he was gone for several weeks, months, whatever it was, and they didn't continue any significant storyline after that. They could have had a thing where they locked him up in the compound, brainwashed him, and then turned him on the Authority or whatever else was going on back then. I don't remember. But this would be a perfect time to redo the whole Cain thing. Put him in, I know this is going to sound corny as shit, put him in some bib overalls, hick him out, and, take the mask off of him and just make him some brutal Southern-looking psycho. That would be a perfect way for Cain to, end his career in the WWE as someone like the most crazy psycho version of Cain ever, because he's not hiding behind the mask. You see, if you're hiding behind the mask, you don't see facial expressions. Cain is one of those guys, man. If Cain looks at you and he's getting pissed, he's one of the most genuine guys. If he's like standing in front of you and he's pissed, you are going to piss yourself. Literally, you are going to piss yourself. I guarantee it. Strip the old Cain stuff off of him. Settle down. I'm not saying put him on a stripper pole. Just settle down. Like I said, hick him out. Put him in the Southern swamp gear, whatever the hell. Like something similar to what Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and all those guys. Wife beater, whatever. They're the same but different. And I could totally see Cain being part of that group. Maybe even rename him. I don't know. I think that's what they should do to him. I'm hoping that's what they do to him, because Cain is hitting that point again where it's like, okay, he was the demon, then he was unmasked, then he was a goofy guy with Daniel Bryan and Team Hell No, then he was the corporate guy in the suit. Now he's back to the demon. but he's bounced around so much. He needs something really big and exciting again. Something that really just something. Okay, so that's all like the good stuff. Now I'm going to talk about a couple negative things that have happened this week. Paige. Oh my God. A lot of people talking about Paige this week and what her future is in just, well, the WWE or just wrestling, period. And the crazy part of this is not that, okay, yeah, it sucks that Paige was busted for drugs or something. Her family is saying it's a painkiller. Okay, so say Oxy, Vicodin, something not on the WWE's wellness policy list. Fine. But then in an interview in the New York Post, WWE was commented, someone from WWE corporate or whoever commented in an interview saying, no, it wasn't a painkiller. It was an illegal substance. Seriously. What in the blue hell? If there's something like that going on with Paige, if she's in trouble, which hanging out with Alberto Del Rio, I'm not assuming nothing. But there's a lot of shit going around that Alberto Del Rio is quite the partier, could be quite the influence, negative influence on Paige. And Alberto Del Rio, El Patron, whatever you want to call him now, he's been around the block, anywhere in the MMA industry. He's president of one of the newer Mexican MMA companies. Even talked about inviting CM Punk down there. I'm not even going to get into that. That's something crazy for another time. Back to Paige. If Paige is in trouble, and she did do something illegal, I'm really shocked that someone from WWE came out in an interview, whether it's defending the company or not. It's one thing to defend the company and say, we are getting her help. We've got doctors helping her through her neck situation. Fine. That's understandable. If Paige is doing drugs, illegal drugs, that is not something they should be exposing to the public, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, that's throwing one of your employees under the bus. And that's them shining a negative light on their own company. If Paige is in trouble and she is doing illegal substances, they should be privately offering her help. Which, there's all these different opinions as far as what's going on with her. Okay, seriously. Go away. You're quiet. Thank you. Back. Had to shut my phone up. If Paige is doing something wrong, WWE should be privately talking to her about it. They shouldn't be saying, oh, well, this is what she's doing. I mean, they didn't come out and say, oh, well, she did cocaine out of the dimples of, Alberto Del Rio's ass, He said what? That very well may be true. But damn, that's kind of funny. No, I don't wish that. That's bad. That's no coke. No coke, Paige, damn it. They shouldn't be talking about that stuff publicly. Okay? I would expect them to do something like that 20 years ago, back during the Attitude Era, like when Shawn Michaels got in trouble. Oh yeah, he was doing cocaine on the bus. You know, Shawn Michaels was doing cocaine out of the dimples of China's ass. You know, I would expect that, not something currently someone saying, "Oh, it's not a painkiller; it's an illegal substance." That's not cool. That's not cool, WWE. Seriously. Whatever the full story is on Paige, and I'm sure we're going to learn a little more over the course of the next few months. She's going to be off running, tied at the hip with Alberto Del Rio, El Patron, whatever, as he goes to TNA. Oh, you might not have heard about that. This is not... He mentioned TNA in that interview on TMZ. You can go look at the video what's up on YouTube. He mentioned TNA. He said, if they have enough money to pay me. And with all the stuff going on with TNA, which I'll get to that in a second, that's what I'll wrap up the video with this week. Whatever's going on with Alberto Del Rio, she's going to follow him everywhere. And he's got money. So I'm sure he's going to take care of her. Although he just went through a divorce and or is going through a divorce. So depending on how long he was with his wife and what the judge rules, wherever it was, Mexico, USA, I have no idea. Is he going to have to pay alimony? That's another hot mess in itself. I've been through a divorce. It's not fun. Not fun at all. I don't recommend it. But obviously, if he's happy, then he's happy. If Paige is happy with him, WWE should not be putting any stress on their relationship with her because of her relationship with El Patron. But WWE has been known to do stupid shit like that. So, I'll be following this closely. She's in the middle of still starting her second suspension now, 60-day suspension. I hope she gets healthy. I hope she's happy. And we hope to see her in the ring again, depending on, her health. If her neck gets fused and she can't wrestle again, she can't wrestle again. We just hope that she's happy with Alberto Del Rio, and they ride off into sunset, making lots of Alberto Del Rio puppies. Anyways, next. And like I said, speaking of TNA, news came out tonight about saw this all over the place. Mainly from ringsidenews.com, had a couple stories. Corgan, who we thought was trying to buy the company of TNA, is now suing TNA. I thought he was president. He's president. Can a president sue his own company? That's just weird. Now, obviously, all the other details that go along with this are locked up tight. Probably locked up tight in that mountain that Goldberg was, released from. It's just weird if you're the president and you're suing your own company. that's like Vince McMahon suing the WWE, isn't it? Although Corgan doesn't really own TNA yet, so anyways, and he also had a restrict. What the hell do you call that? Restraining order. Excuse me. On someone from TNA. That I did not catch the details of. Was it Dixie's husband? Something? But I've been hearing a lot of things lately that there's a lot of stress backstage between Corgan and Dixie. At least they got all their recording done. That's going to go into what? Towards the end of the year. Should take them through December of this year. So just over 2 months worth. Man, you know, I want TNA to continue, or some form of it, you know, like if Corgan buys the company, rebrands it into something new, that'd be great. With the current product, bring in some more new faces. They desperately need more faces. They really do. They're getting there. They're getting there. They have some new face. Well, excuse me. Aaron Rex, formerly Damian Sandow. Cody Rhodes. Apparently he's done already. I don't know. I haven't read any of the spoilers from the recordings or, episode tapings. I don't know what he's all done. I know he was supposed to make his debut tonight. I'll have to go check that out. Because I do want to watch that. You know, not everything in TNA is like, oh my God, must see, in my opinion. There's only a couple things on there, well, maybe a handful of things that I'm interested in. You know, I like Decay. The Hardys are cool. But man, you know, how long are the Hardys going to do this? I heard something about the Hardys want to do an entire episode from the compound. That, in my opinion, would be like the big finale for the Hardys and TNA. That's, in my opinion, if I knew my contract was coming up and I knew I wanted to get out of the company, yet do something as big as we possibly could to help the brand, I could see them doing that. That would be like their exit plan. Do some crazy big thing at the Hardy compound, and then that's it. No more Hardys and TNA. Which they've really helped TNA, in my opinion, especially over the course of this past summer. Holy cow, this whole broken Hardys or obsolete Hardys and whatever it's all called has really gotten, I don't know if it's helped in ratings, but it's gotten a lot of people talking. Whether it's positive or negative, it's gotten a lot of people talking. So, but back to Billy Corgan. Man, I don't know what this all means as far as this new lawsuit and this restraining order. It just sounds horrible, you know? There was all this hope for, ooh, we got a new buyer. And then I also read that WWE is not even interested anymore. You take that with a grain of salt. I really don't know. Heard something about this past weekend about a survey of WWE possibly charging more in the future if they had Ring of Honor and TNA on their library. I heard something about that. I never saw it. I heard about it. So I'm just mentioning it. Yeah, I don't know. Gosh. All I hope is that next spring, we see something brand spanking new from TNA. A new form of TNA, a new owner, hopefully a new company. because they need to do something positive, because man, there's only so much negativity a company can have news about it, and then it's just going to tank. And it's been hanging. I think TNA's been hanging on by the fringes lately, barely the fringes. Hell, they almost didn't come off with their last big pay-per-view or these tapings that are going on right now, or that just finished. At least I think they just finished. I know they were put on hold for the hurricane that just went through there. And I'm guessing they wrapped up between Sunday and Tuesday or something. I don't know. So that's it for this. So much craziness between people coming in, people leaving companies, and lawsuits, and oh my God, just a insane amount of stuff. But yeah, you want to hear my opinion on what goes on next week with Goldberg? Stick around. I'm sure I'll be doing that. Either late Monday or early Tuesday, I'll try to do that. We'll see what happens. I don't know exactly when I'll be doing it, but maybe I'll try to get someone on here with me that likes Goldberg. We'll see. Maybe I'll get Jason from New Age Insiders on here. That'd be awesome. So we'll see if I can work on that, because I know he's a big Goldberg fan. But nonetheless, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.